Hello and welcome to Horror Rewind. This is Kelly Florence.
And this is Campbell Florence.
And today we're talking about films that we saw at the Duluth Superior Film Festival. If you have been following on social media, you'll know that last week we attended, there's a 10-day North Star Summit. Is that what it's called, Campbell?
I think so.
Yeah, so it's 10 days. It's the Duluth Superior Film Festival, the Minnesota Web Fest, and then the Catalyst TV Festival, Content Festival. And it has been a whirlwind 10 days here in northern Minnesota, and we had the opportunity to attend this block of horror movies that were all made through the Horror High Camp. Campbell, do you want to tell everybody a little bit about the program?
So basically the program is high school students can go and get experience working on a professional film set and pick up just kind of learn from experienced professionals, like different jobs on the film set.
It's so cool. They get to shadow a professional, but then not only shadow, but take over that position, and then the professional just watches over and makes sure that everything is running smoothly. And we watched 3 films made by this program last night, and they were all completely amazing. First of all, the first movie was called Slurp. I'm not going to give spoilers because I want you all to see these movies, but let's just say it's about a couple that goes to the movies to see a horror movie, and it was very meta, very funny. I laughed out loud. Did you have a favorite part without spoiling anything?
Let's see.
Of Slurp?
I guess kind of when they were, it's not a huge spoiler, but when they were kind of like in the lobby getting like concessions.
Okay, yeah. It's very clever. It's a short film. I would seek it out. I'm assuming that one's on YouTube, but we hadn't seen it before. The second movie that we watched, we had seen before. It's available on YouTube. It's directed by Andrew Hunt, who just had the world premiere of his movie, The Infernal Machine, starring Guy Pearce, during the festival. So congratulations to him. He directed the short film. Do you remember what it was called?
Spare Change.
Spare Change. And this is not... well, it's a little bit of a spoiler, but you should still definitely see this short film. Like I said, go to YouTube, Spare Change, Andrew Hunt. It is a kid who is collecting aluminum cans to get some spare change to hire a hitman, and I'm not going to tell you what for. It is so clever, so well shot, so well directed, and also I laughed out loud. And it just has to be one of my favorite short horror films. Anything that you want to comment without spoiling it? What you got the behind the scenes info from, I'm assuming Andrew showed it to you during camp. So what did he say about it?
I don't remember right now. But one thing I did like was kind of the scene where he was hiring the hitman. They're in a restaurant and the hitman has a beer. Oh, I remember what he was. I remember what he was saying. This kind of applies to what I was about to say. He had a beer, and the kid had a glass of milk, and they made it a glass of milk because of the contrast between the beer and the milk.
Yeah, no, that's good. I like that too, and it's so funny because you're in there in this not really seedy bar, but a restaurant or bar, and with obviously a hitman, and he's drinking a glass of milk. It's just so funny. Oh, that reminds me though, Leon, the professional, from that Gary Oldman movie, he drank milk all the time, remember? Natalie Portman's debut. Anyway, the third film is the one that we're really here to talk about, and it's called Shadow Puppets. This is the film that Campbell got to be a PA on. Campbell, tell them the origin of this movie, what it started as, how they changed it, and then what you got to do on the film set. And let's not give any spoilers.
So it started out as a short film animation by Chuck Gamble, which you can watch on YouTube.
Is it by the same title?
Yes. It's in the setting is it's like in a factory in like a dystopian world, and originally in the short film animation, there was a huge factory, but in the live action that we shot, it's just in one room, but it's really well shot and it doesn't feel like it's just like stuck in one small room. It feels like a giant room. And
so tell us why they changed the plot from a factory to more of like a jail cell. Do you want to talk about that a bit?
yes, they changed it from just like the whole prison to just in a single cell, and they just kind of like put the different pieces of the factory inside the cell.
Yeah, and it was for budget reasons, and then they could use just one set that had a removable wall, and then no ceiling, right? There was no ceiling, or was there a ceiling sometimes?
There was no ceiling.
So then that way they could get all these different wonderful angles, multiple actors playing, in different cells, quote unquote, but of course they could use the one set. It was so brilliantly shot. The lighting is amazing. I really love the music. The acting was great. The editing, I'm not going to give a spoiler away, but let's just say special effects makeup was next level. Yep. It was, how many minutes did it end up being? 17?
13.
13 minutes. It ended up being a 13-minute short, and I absolutely had to say that was top notch. Now, talk about some of the jobs that you had on the set.
So I had mainly 2 jobs on the set. My first job, which I did on the first day, was just kind of like filming behind the scenes footage. And then from the second day onwards, I did some script supervising.
Very cool. And now tell people, if they're not familiar, what does a script supervisor do?
Basically just making sure that there's continuity, just making sure, like, if in one shot he's like eating something with his right hand, and making in the next shot just making sure it's still his right hand, and just making sure that like a pillow that like hasn't been moved like in between shots, and just trying to make sure that there's continuity between shots.
Very cool. Now, something I saw posted yesterday by Philip Gilpin Jr., he posted on social media that a lot of times people don't know that film festivals are for everyone. It's like a music festival. Anybody can go, and you just get tickets either for the entire time or for individual blocks or individual showings. And it's a chance for not just filmmakers, not just actors, not just directors, but for the community to get involved and see all of this hard work that everybody's been putting into making and creating art. And so if you have a local film or TV festival in your community, attend it. It's a great way to meet people, support these important films, and there's such a variety. I saw that they had a lot of documentaries. They, of course, had horror, which we love and we're there for. There's dramas, there's comedy. There's something for everybody, I would say. So go to more film festivals, friends. It is worth it. Speaking of, I'm programming again. It's the Minnesota International Film Festival. And if you have a horror short that you would like to apply to be shown, go to Film Freeway or DM me for details. Or if you're making another kind of film, there's features, there's documentaries, everything, just like in this North Star Summit. So get involved, and I can't wait to see more horror movies. So Campbell, what would you say was what was your biggest takeaway from working on a professional film set?
I think just kind of how long it takes to get a shot, even just like a 2-3 second shot of just like an object just kind of like falling, like just 2 to 3 seconds can take like 20 minutes of shooting just to try to make sure like everything goes right.
Yes, that's a really good point. And I know you said there were 2 extras that didn't have lines, and they each were probably in it for 3 seconds. And how long did you say that they filmed?
They were both there for about half an hour, just kind of like pressing buttons and just kind of like acting and doing stuff like that.
Yeah, so just a single shot for a few seconds, half an hour worth of work. And I just think that that's fascinating, and it makes me appreciate movies and TV more. I know some people say they don't like to see behind the scenes stuff because it ruins for them, but for me it just enhances knowing how much work goes into filmmaking and making TV and art in general. So go out and support small independent films and film festivals. So we are coming, it's October now, and we are recording this before, obviously before it airs. So know that coming up we have some book tour events. If you are in the Twin Cities area in Minnesota, we will be at the Imagine Theater in Plymouth on Wednesday, October 12th, showing Secret Movie. So come out and see us. And then we will be the following week in Boston, Salem, Massachusetts, Los Angeles, and then back to Duluth for an event. So stay tuned. And until next time, we'll see you in the horror section.
See you in the horror section.